are back on Morning Line. Thanks for joining us. Our guest with us this morning is Dr. Friday. She's great. The number is 737-7587. Any questions for our tax expert? And, we had Ricky waiting through the break. He had a second question to follow up. Ricky, go ahead, Rick.
Thanks for holding.
Yes, on the property or the land, it has been actually appraised, and the attorney told us that we would have to file an extension because of the probate.
Okay.
Wasn't done in 9 months.
Okay.
But it actually appraised for more than what we actually have took for the land.
Good.
But our attorney says that we need to file a tax toward each one of us takes a proportion of that money and apply it to our own personal tax. Now, I talked to a CPA, and he says that it's not to be done that way. It has to be done on the farm part because it never changed into nobody's name, the land, other than the people that just bought it.
Is it in trust?
It's in probate. I'm not sure about it being in trust. It's in probate.
If it's in probate, then it's not in trust. That's the beautiful thing of a trust is we don't hit probate. So in answer to your question, not sure. I mean, obviously, I'm getting part of the conversation. I don't want to, say anyone's right or wrong. But normally, if it's in probate, at that time, they're going to basically disperse those equally to the beneficiaries based on the shares that the percentage they're supposed to have, and you would put that on your Schedule D, claim it as capital gains. It sounds like it's going to be a loss situation, so it will only be a tax benefit for you to do that. There will not be a Schedule F. Now, in the year in which the family, the person that passed away back in 2014, there would have been the final Schedule F filed because he was operating. The cows, I'm assuming, were sold pretty quickly in that situation. So, you wouldn't have been any livestock left depending on how late, maybe in early 15, unless somebody took over the raising of those, and then there could have been still an active farm in 15. So I don't know. All I'm saying is if there's still cattle and things on the property, and maybe you sold that with the property and someone was managing that, there may have still been a Schedule F being filed, but it would have nothing to do with the sale of the land. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, and if you need, you can always do a consult with me. You can call me or whatever after the show or another. It's a little hard. I don't want to get too specific in your situation, but you're on the right track. But be prepared that this will come eventually against your own taxes.
Okay, listen, we'll have your contact information up at the end of the show. Cool. Is this your personal home cell phone?
It's my cell phone. It is my cell phone. He laughs. It is my cell phone. He knows this. Full service.
That's right. That's awesome. All right, we've got Jerry. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Jerry. Go ahead.
We put in replacement windows last year, and we put them in ourselves. Can we still use that credit?
Yeah, labor is not part of the tax deduction, so you still had to purchase those windows. The question will be, in the last 7 years, have you taken energy credit for something else on the house? Up to $1,500, or I guess in those days it was $2,500 or $1,500 in credit, $5,000, $1,500, yeah. So, that's the tricky part, is have you done an air conditioning unit or put in some other green thing in the last 7 years? If the answer is no, you'll be able to. If you spend $1,500, you'll get $500 credit.
Okay, and this is just a line on the tax form that we'll fill out?
On the regular 1040. It falls right on the 1040. It's a credit, which excites us because credit means 100% taking dollar for dollar deduction.
All righty. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yeah, very good. You said labor's not figured into that.
Right.
But if she had hired someone to put them in, that's not. It's just the purchase of the unit, the windows.
That's the green part, the window.
No, you may not know all. What else is green? Windows.
Insulation, shingles on your roof.
Yeah, like the pink insulation that you put in the bottom of the floor and stuff like that.
I don't really know what color it is.
Well, whatever. The insulation,
yes,
right?
The guy on the TV that has like the little leopard that's pink.
Yeah. So if I do that, if I get a bunch of insulation, replace some of the insulation.
I'd love to see it.
I know,
you YouTube
so would my
it?
wife.
Would
she
you
would
YouTube
not.
it?
How do you know that I would never do that, would I? I'm going to do it.
No.
Except there's snakes under our house, I think. I was once down there looking at the insulation, and I found a snake skin. So I got out of there fast.
You found the skin, not the snake.
Yes, the skin. It's just the skin. Thank goodness for that. It still scared me. Still scared me.
Just got away with your life almost there. I mean, it's
I
scary.
like the idea of the green credits, though. I mean, it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Can I get a deduction for my bees because they're environmentally green? I have 3 beehives. Okay.
No, but if you sell the honey.
No, I don't sell the honey, but if I did,
there's no sales tax.
Why would that be?
Because it is homegrown.
Homegrown? Really?
You don't charge sales tax. If you've got a little garden, you go to the little farmer's market and you buy tomatoes and stuff, you'll notice you never pay sales tax because state doesn't require sales tax. So if you went to one of those little things or you gave me a couple jars of the honey,
yeah. I should. Okay.
It would not. There'd be no sales tax anyway, so that's kind of important.
I was wondering how far it goes. All right.
Yeah.
You never know what Bob's going to ask, but we're just going to dive into this one.
I'm ready.
Bob, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, Bob.
I'm on a disability.
Okay.
Here, I got a Form 1095B for health coverage.
Okay.
And I thought I'd mention that because people, if they don't have the health coverage, I chose to take it off at the top before I get my check. And because most people, I don't think they can do it anyway. But that's my comment.
Okay. Well, that's a wonderful comment. That's what he was talking about. Remember in the part of the show we were talking about one of the biggest forms people are either confused about or don't bring to me is the 1095. Now there is an A, B, or C. And so you're going to be pinning if you're on a government or if you're working for a company that provides it or if you're like me who has my own. We all have different types. And it will show. And keep in mind, the government will charge you a penalty if you are not all 12 months. Now there are a few waivers. If you did go on the marketplace and you got it, let's say you kind of went in there and got rejected and then you got reinstated like a month later, they will allow us to put that documentation in there because it was because of the website, not because of you not wanting to be in the market or whatever. But if you were on one job, they gave you 3, then you started another job and maybe there was 90 days before the insurance kicked in and then you were on that one. Those 90 days could be penalized for you and they could charge you a pretty hefty little penalty on that.
Okay. It sounds like he's on top of it.
Yeah. Well, and it's great that he's taking it out before. I mean, I thought everybody on disability, and he'll probably know more than me, but I thought part of the package was Medicare, as part of that, or TRICARE if you're a VA individual or whatever. But all of them are giving proof. You should have proof, and you should be providing that to your tax person, or if you're doing it yourself, there is a spot on the tax return that specifically says what 1095 did you receive.
Gotcha. All right.
Don't miss it.
All filings now electronic? Does anyone mail anything anymore?
I have clients that request to mail their tax returns.
Is that right?
I do. I have, so far, I would say about 10 people that have asked that specifically print me a copy. I want to mail this in.
Meaning,
physically, go to the post office and mail it in. Don't ask me.
Is there any potential advantage to that?
No, I would say there's a higher risk of audit.
Yes,
it's hand processed. So when the hands are touching it, they're going to look at all the lines because it has to be hand inputted.
Oh.
Now, I will tell you, as a licensed preparer, I'm an enrolled agent, licensed with the IRS, so there's certain things I have to e-file unless a client specifically rejects that offer.
Rejects the offer.
So 99.1% of mine, probably, I don't know where I got the 1.1. Anyways, e-files.
That's interesting. So the ones that are electronically sent, but they're still being looked at, obviously, by people, right? No?
No.
No, there's just a program, some kind of matrix that looks it over. Whereas if you send it in by paper, you have an individual that has to look it over.
And that's why 1040Xs or corrected ones are all hand processed. So again, you have eyes on your tax return, where if we're e-filing, remember, it goes right into the supercomputer. The supercomputer puts you into all these little magic things and spits out a little love letter. It might say, we don't agree. There's a reason why we don't agree. Or you didn't report everything correctly, and here's the reason why. More paper audits than we have anything else. I would say maybe 1% of physical come to my office, see every single document kind of audits. And out of the 3 that get audited, the other 2 are paper audits.
Wow. Okay, I would think that.
But that's up.
Maybe
Paper audits
machine
are more
or
than we've
human
ever
error.
had.
There might be more chance of a human error if you mail it in. Plus, you could also forget and send a big packet and not put enough postage on it, and it'll be returned. Can you imagine? That happened to my dad years and years ago. He mailed it on the 15th, got it in just under, and then it was sent back for improper postage.
Yeah,
boy, was he steamed.
Yeah, and if he was smart, he would have kept it in that envelope, put it in a new one, and sent it back out. He would have maybe got a waiver on that. But
yeah, well, I think he did. I think
all
it worked
in all,
out.
It still worked out. But yeah, that's the problem. And with mail, now they'll certify it. They'll do the whole thing because that's what they've always done, right? So they'll put the little green tracking and all that, so they know the government received it. But with e-file, within 48 hours, we've got the tracking. We know it's received. If you have a refund, you can check online. Where's my refund? And be able to do it. And they do. Guys, I will say the IRS is really trying to stay more open as far as you can track your 1040 X's, which is an amended return. This is kind of new, where you can go onto the IRS website, and if you file one, usually within a few weeks, it's about 4 or 5 weeks, you can go in there and say what's the status, because it can take 6 months to get a refund from an amended return.
Okay.
So it takes a long time. If you've e-filed your taxes within about 6 days, you can go, where is my refund, on the IRS website, and they'll tell you what the status is. It's been received, expected date of delivery, blah, blah, blah. Or if you go in there after about a week and it's not there, they will tell you wait 21 days. On the 22nd day, rush in there, check it out. If it's still not showing, resubmit or contact whoever it is. That means they did not receive your taxes.
Yeah.
Or it may say we're looking at them. There's an indication that maybe they're doing more than looking.
Sure. Okay. Which could lead to something that you don't want to deal with.
Then you need to hire me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. All right. Remind folks where you're at.
In Brentwood, Tennessee, you can reach me at 615-367-0819. Go to the web, drfriday.com. If you want to set up a tax appointment, there might be a few appointments still open. You can do that right on the website, or you can email me direct, friday@drfriday.com. And I'm an enrolled agent with the Internal Revenue Service.
Okay, and I will give the number again at the end of the show after you say goodbye to us. You know, as we wrap things up, I'm always amazed by those news stories that come out that talk about the millions and millions of dollars that are still out there that have never been claimed.
Absolutely.
For real. I mean, so someone out there could be sitting there not realizing there's some money that somewhere down the line. How long before, if you don't claim it, it goes away permanently?
That's great, because April 15th is a major deadline, not only for the 15 filing, but if you haven't filed 12, you will lose that refund on April the 15th unless there was an extension. So you need to make sure. So if you haven't filed, and I will tell you, out of people, I'm doing like 6 cases where people have basically not filed 8 to 10 years. Almost every single one of them have always left money on the table. Yeah. Left money on the table because they didn't file 6, they had a refund 7, and then they owe money now or whatever, and this could have washed. You will not get that refund.
If you owe money, you may hear from the IRS because they're going to audit you because you owe the Uncle Sam. But if you leave money on the table, they're not going to say anything. All
they
of a sudden
do
it's like
thousands and hundreds of thousands of tax returns for people that don't file, and if that money is showing a positive, they will not send you a letter saying, you left money on the table, please file.
Yes, if you don't want to file and you don't care, you're just going to blow it off and you owe them money, or you have money coming to you, don't worry about it. You'll never be audited. But of course, you're losing money that's yours.
And the government does so much with our money.
Yes, Doc, thank you. It's a pleasure. I know you're busy and you've got so much energy, so handle it. You've got 1 month. 1 month.
I know.
1 month and counting. And then the extensions, you'll have that too.
Till October.
Good. Nice to see you.
Thanks.
All right, take a break. We come back. Programming note about tomorrow, and I will give you her number one more time for that. So everyone, take care of your taxes. We'll be right back. Nice.